Trauma is what happens inside you when something overwhelms your nervous system's ability to cope. It's how your body and brain were forced to adapt to survive it, not just what happened. Here's a grounded way to understand it. When something is too much, too fast, too painful, or too ongoing, your nervous system flips into survival mode. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn. If you can't escape, be helped, or feel safe afterward, the body doesn't get to finish the stress cycle. So the experience doesn't resolve. It stays stored in sensations, reflexes, beliefs, muscle tension, and emotional responses. That's trauma. Some key clarifiers, because this matters a lot. Trauma can come from one event, an accident, assault, medical emergency, or from many small or repeated experiences, neglect, emotional invalidation, chronic stress, growing up unsafe. Two people can go through the same event. One is traumatized, one isn't. The difference is support, safety, and capacity, not strength. Trauma is adaptive. Your body did exactly what it needed to do to keep you alive. Common signs trauma has occurred, even if you don't remember a big event. You overreact and don't know why. You go numb or disconnect. You're hyperalert, exhausted, or on edge. Your body reacts before your thoughts do. You learn to shrink, please, freeze, or stay invisible. Calm feels unfamiliar or unsafe. Why trauma is a brain injury? A brain injury is any event that alters the structure, function, or connectivity of the brain in a lasting way. Trauma does precisely that. It dysregulates the stress system at a neural level. When a person experiences an overwhelming threat, the brain activates the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal HPA axis. This releases cortisol, adrenaline, noradrenaline. In short bursts, this system is protective. In an inescapable or repeated threat, it becomes neurotoxic. Prolonged cortisol exposure damages neurons, disrupts synapse formation, alters gene expression, epigenetics. This is not metaphorical damage. This is measurable biological change, the literal brain injury we reference. Trauma physically alters key brain regions. Research using MRI, fMRI, and PET scans shows consistent changes in traumatized brains. Amygdala, threat detection, becomes hyperreactive. It fires faster and louder, interprets neutral stimuli as danger. This is why trauma survivors are on edge. The smoke alarm is hypersensitive. Hippocampus, memory plus timestamping. Often reduced in volume. Impaired ability to distinguish past from present. Disorganized memory storage. This is why trauma feels like it's happening now, not remembered as then. Prefrontal cortex, reasoning, impulse control, self-soothing. Activity is suppressed during stress. Reduced connectivity with the amygdala. Harder to think, speak, or regulate emotions. This is why logic doesn't work when triggered. The brain region responsible for logic is literally offline. Trauma disrupts neural connectivity. Trauma isn't just about damaged areas, it's about communication breakdown. Top-down regulation, thinking brain, calming survival brain, weakens. Bottom-up signals, body fear signals, dominate networks, fragment instead of integrate. In neuroscience terms, trauma reduces neural coherence and functional integration. That is a brain injury by definition. Trauma changes how the brain learns and predicts. The brain is a prediction machine. After trauma, it updates its predictions to prioritize survival. This leads to overgeneralized fear learning, impaired extinction learning. The brain struggles to unlearn danger, bias toward negative or threatening interpretations. These are not just beliefs. They are hardwired prediction errors caused by injury to learning systems. I call this the not self, when we are operating out of survival rather than optimal function. Our best selves are not the ones in survival mode. It's not who we are, it's how we learned to be. Trauma alters development, especially in childhood. In developmental trauma, brain growth follows survival pathways instead of exploration pathways. Synaptic pruning favors threat detection over creativity, play, and rest. The nervous system matures under chronic stress hormones. This is why childhood trauma is often called an acquired neurodevelopmental injury, not a personality issue. Not a flaw or behavior. An injury. The plain English explanation: trauma is a brain injury because your brain was forced to change how it works to keep you alive. Your brain is supposed to learn, most days are safe. I can rest. Help exists. This is over now. Trauma teaches your brain, Danger can happen anytime. Stay alert or you'll get hurt. Don't feel, it's safer. The past is still happening. So your brain rewires itself around survival. That rewiring shrinks the part that knows, this is over, strengthens the part that says, watch out. Disconnects thinking from feeling, traps your body in emergency mode. That's an injured system, doing its job too well. But when trauma is understood as a brain injury, healing becomes rehabilitation, not self-criticism. Regulation comes before insight, safety comes before growth, the body becomes part of treatment. You wouldn't tell someone with a concussion to, just calm down. You wouldn't shame someone for limping after a spinal injury. Trauma deserves the same respect. The hopeful neuroscience, because this matters too. Here's the part people forget. The brain is plastic. The same mechanisms that allowed trauma to rewire the brain also allow healing to rewire it again. With repeated safety co-regulation, somatic practices, trauma-informed therapy time, plus consistency, we see increased prefrontal activity, reduced amygdala reactivity, hippocampal volume recovery, restored network integration. There are no medications to heal a brain injury. Just methods of self-work. The nervous system is our root system in our bodies. It has an intelligence, not yet fully understood by science. Each year, more and more studies and findings come out about how our nervous systems behave and react. CPTSD is a fairly new study as they learn the long-term effects of repeated trauma. For years they thought only veterans had PTSD. They were wrong. Having any kind of trauma disorder is uncomfortable, but with lots of support and education, we can learn to be our best selves and not allow the trauma to infiltrate our lives on a daily basis.